Hello, friends from the comic world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and you are G. And we're here to talk to you about our collected editions graphic novels that are coming out in March 2026. G and I work for Penguin Random House, and we manage sales into the direct market around the world. So the titles that we talk about in these videos are from the publishers that we represent into those markets. Also, no, we're on social media. We're in Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and of course on YouTube. We'll leave links in the description below. And just in case it's the first time you watch these videos, what we do is that we start first talking about a few picks, personal picks from the list, and then we continue highlighting some titles that we think you shouldn't miss in the month of March. And then G and I will exit from the video, but we'll leave you with the rest of the list so you can see the covers of everything else that is going to be publishing in the month of March. Quick reminder, there are tends to be shifts and changes in the publishing schedule, so sometimes you will see books um, repeated on these videos that we talked about before, and that's because sometimes there are delays and things like that. That's totally normal in this industry, but just beware of that. And with that, let's get started. I think first is your pick, G.
Yes, it's my pick, and it is Flinch, the complete collection of Brian Azzarello. Um, but with this one, of course, it includes other writers and artists that are involved here. So this gathers all 16 issues of the Eisner-nominated horror anthology series. It was originally published from 1999 to 2001, and it has like a rotating cast of top-tier creators. So it'll include, like I mentioned, Brian Azzarello, but also Joe R. Lansdale, Jim Lee, Frank Quitely, Bill Willingham, to name a few. And Flinch basically explores the many faces of fear through standalone stories, and it ranges from the eerie to the grotesque, and it has bold storytelling, haunting visuals. It's a collection that is very much for the fans of mature, thought-provoking horror. So this Vertigo anthology series, it mixes psychological horror, supernatural dread, dark satire, and each story is like really getting you to turn the pages. It's very compelling in that way. As you can see from the cover art, it is very chilling, but also hauntingly beautiful cover art that you see here. So
Yes,
yes.
very cool. And that next up is Lavender Jack, Volume One. This is illustrated by Jen Manley Lee and created by Dan Skate. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Sorry. Um, so this is first time in print for a webcomic series that has sort of the first season of the series, with and it promises to have a beautiful art cover that you see and updated interior art. And it takes place in an alternate 20th century where the city of Gallery is a place of science, of diversity, of wealth, but it's been run by the ruling class is very corrupt, and there's just really squeezing the masses for all that it's worth. And enter Lavender Jack as a devilish vigilante whose fighting prowess and advanced technology make him a nightmare for gallery's elites. So basically, and I read a little bit of the web tune already, the web comic, but can't wait to get it all in print. And he is, like it says, is this as you can see in the cover, sort of a very nicely dressed vigilante who has extreme abilities, skills, and also a lot of technology. And he goes around and he exposes the corruption and the elite. And like in the first story, it it shows him sort of breaking into the mansions and gathering secret information to expose in the media all the corruptions. The aesthetics of this are very, you can tell by the cover that it's very beautiful, but it gives me vibes of like Batman adventures and that kind of look, like in the city itself and the atmosphere of it feels like that a little bit. It also the story and the character reminds me a little bit of The Shadow. It reminds me a little bit of all those um, sort of early, vigilantes, graphic novels that, when Batman was getting started, and there was a bunch of other ones sort of around that time, a little bit of Dick Tracy kind of feel to it too. So very, very cool. I stopped myself from continuing reading the webtoon because I want to read it on paper when it's available and can't wait for it. Also, I should say it's for mature audiences. It is not extreme, but it does have like bloody scenes, although they're cartoony. It's a little bit not very realistic looking, but they are, and uh, it has adult themes. But it is very. It looks what little I read, it got me really really excited. So can't wait for this one. See?
Next up, this is The Girl Who Draws on Whales. So this is set in a fantasy world several centuries after the Great Flood. And then we have a character, Sister Wangi, and her younger brother, Banyu, who live in the sea village. Wangi has this special bond with the great whales that visits their sea village, and the whales they basically allow Wangi to draw on their backs, and sometimes the whales return with new drawings on them, and Wangi believes that there are other sea villagers or island settlements scattered around and that they are sending her messages, but that none of the other elders are listening to her. So one day, a new whale arrives in the village alone, wounded and dying, and this whale has a new drawing on her back that doesn't look like the previous drawings. And inspired by this mystery, Wangi vows to investigate. So, although she is forbidden by her parents and the village elders, Wang Yi, along with a stowaway who happens to be her brother Banyu, embark on this like very beautiful, wondrous journey to investigate where the drawings are coming from, and only to find much more than what they were ever expecting. So it's a very epic YA. Even though it's YA, I'm so intrigued as an adult, would be very interested in reading this. But it's a graphic novel about these adventuring siblings struggling for survival who must use their art to save the world. It's a testimony to the power of stories with its uncanny ability to entertain while educating, but ultimately uniting us all. It has that feeling when you're reading the story. So one of my most anticipated. I can't wait. So yes, coming out of Dark Horse.
And then we continue with The Shadower. That is by Maria and Peter Hoey, a sibling duo who one of them lives in New York, another one in LA, but they work on these amazing graphic novels together, and they've done a few animal stories, The Bend of Luck and the In Perpetuity, which are also available from IDW. I talked before. It was one of my picks a while back in perpetuity. So in this case, the Shadower talks about Nadia, who's a drama student in this country that is divided by civil war, and among the tensions that are happening with the civil war, with armed men and checkpoints and random violence. Um, theater is really her escape from all of that. And one evening after she does a performance, she's given the opportunity to serve her people. And some people approach her and say, "Hey, you have a very striking resemblance to this waitress who works in the next district, whose cafe is frequented by enemy agents, and you're an actress, so we would like you to take her place and, spy, become a spy for us." So it's a story of Nadia and how she's, out of it, she's pulled into this world of espionage, and she has to use her skills as an actress to become this new person, this other person, and to live in her apartment and to live her life, but also, live in this dangerous job of trying to get information from the enemy. Um, like I said, I've read the other. I read In Perpetuity. I haven't read the other ones, but from what I've read, you know, Maria and Peter, they do these very deep stories, and they're very, as you can tell a little bit by the cover, their art is very beautiful and defined, especially the backgrounds and the architecture. It's very beautiful. It's very detailed, like I said. So definitely check them out. If you go online, you can find them on social media, and you can find of some of their work and example of their works, and it's very very cool. So really really looking forward to this one, and I definitely need to go back and read the other stuff. This reminds me I need to go back and read the previous ones as well.
Yeah, I was looking at my shelf because I'm pretty sure I have in perpetuity that
Uh,
I do need to read. I'm like, oh, that reminds me. I have to go read that
yeah,
one.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
All right. Next up, we have Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman. This one, who says saving the future can't be fun? So this is Trinity's first solo outing as which unfortunately is part of an identity crisis that she's dealing with. She's also dealing with chasing corgis, but this has 100% heart. We have the daughter of Wonder Woman, Lizzie, who has big shoes, very big shoes to fill, has zero chill. And when a time rippling mistake unleashes chaos and canines across Gotham and beyond, she teams up with Jason Todd, faces off with mystical beasts, and tries to fix the mess only she could cause. So this volume includes Trinity issues 1 to 6. And this is one of the ones that I regret not picking up in single issues. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
like, this
too.
is my time to pick up
Yeah.
in collected edition. So
And I gotta say, I mean, and Tom King did an amazing job of writing it, and Belen Ortega of illustrating it. And there are so many very cool, like, panels. There are panels, but there are this, you know, sort of this little very iconic scenes between Trinity and Robin, and sometimes with Superman, and sort of very slice of life scenes in throughout this. Aside from the story itself and the action of it and all that, there are all these little pieces of her, especially her as a little girl, and then growing into a young woman, and it's very 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 cool story for sure. And I think this is, if you like Tom King and you like his stories and how he is able to bring a lot of humanity into superhero characters, this is a big example of it. And like I said, you gotta check out Belen Ortega's illustrations because they're so so good.
yeah, I have what you're not seeing it. I have a print of hers right in
Yeah,
front of
and I
me.
have it too. Yeah, we both have a print that is so amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's also a very cute. What kind of dog is it? I forget. Oh,
Corky.
a
Corgi?
corgi. Yes, it's a
Yes.
corgi, which is also a very big part of the story.
Mhm.
Yes. All right, and we continue. I forgot that it's actually my pick. This is Star Wars Legends: The Empire Omnibus Volume 4. It's part of the Legends Star Wars sort of timeline, uh, and this cover is by Douglas Whitley, and then on the next flight, you're going to see a direct market only cover by Nick Rouge. And yes, it's Star Wars, and I talk about Star Wars all the time. And in this one, it is another collection of some of the Legends stories that include a lot. I'm just gonna mention just a little bit. Like there's a story with the Huts, where there's three Huts. Place a wager on who can raise the most successful squad of henchmen. There's stories about it talks a little bit about Darth Vader when he was in the hunt for the stolen Death Star plans before he ran into Princess Leia. There's uh discover how Imperial pilot Biggs Dark Lighter became one of the rebellion's greatest X-wing flying aces. Fan favorite Tack and Bink are in this. I mean, it includes, again, I'm not going to mention all of it, but it includes the Davin Basilica 1 through 5 from 2000. It includes Star Wars Empire of 2002, issues 5 to 6, 8 to 13, and 15. It includes it also includes Star Wars A New Hope, the special edition from 1997, issues 1 through 4. So it has a lot of writers included in here: Mike Kennedy, Randy Stanley, Paul Chadwick, Jeremy Barlow, a lot of other ones, and illustrators too: Carlo Meglia, Davide Fabri, Douglas Weatherly, Thomas Giorello. It is, you know, if you're a big fan of Star Wars, and if you're a big fan, especially including the Legends sort of era that is not canon, this is essential reading, of course. And the covers are very cool. The previous one is very basic, it's very cool cover by Douglas Whitley with Darth Vader and Boba Fett. But this one also, I love this one. I haven't seen this one before, and there's a lot going on there, and it looks so very close to what the Star Wars classic posters are. So I love it because of that. Yep.
All right, we'll move forward with highlights for collected editions. And first up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures on the Go Half Shell Shenanigans. This is Eric Burnham, Tim Lottie, Dan Schuning, Jack Lawrence, Sarah Meyer. And if you made the mistake of not picking up the Absolute Edition that came out, I think several years ago, it is your time now because we're getting
Yes,
this
it's back.
2026. It's back. We're getting this 2026 reprint. This is Gabriel Ba. And of course, we have Amazing Spider-Man. This is the Zeb Wells run, Omnibus Volume 1. And we have the direct market only cover. This is the Ben Sue cover, which I think is really cool. And then Batman Beyond Unlimited Compendium that you see here.
Yes. And then we continues with Avengers: No Surrender, No Road, Home Omnibus by Al Ewing. And we have a trade regular cover, but we also have a direct market only cover by Jasmine Putre. And then we have Black Widow and Captain America by Wade and Sami Omnibus. And that one also has a regular cover, but also a direct market only cover by, doesn't say who's the artist, does it? Sesame Captain American cover. Oh yeah, so it is a Chris Sesame that he did the art for this cover. And then we have Black, White, and Bloodshot by Brian Azzarello.
Okay,
Oh,
and then sorry about that. I will
that's all right.
continue. First up, we have Bronze Faces, Shobo. If you haven't heard us talk about the single issues,
Hmm.
you should pick it up. This is inspired by
Yeah.
the Brendan Bronzes from the British Museum. So you could think of this as a high story to reclaim the artifacts that were taken through colonialism. It's an interesting story. We have Castle Swimmer Volume 3, the webtoon. You can pick up the other volumes, of course. This is Catwoman, the New 52 Omnibus Volume 1. I am not doing a great job with the creators. Castle Swimmer is Wendy Martin, and the Catwoman Omnibus, New 52s, and the Sentry. We have Creased Comics by Brad Neely, and of course, The Creeping Below by Brian Azzarello.
And we continue with Dark Knights of Steel All Winter by Jay Kristoff. This is one of the newer Elseworlds stories, and so good. If you haven't read it, it's so, so good. And then we have Death of a Pop Star Volume 2 by Violet Karim.
59. I'm gonna show
Ah,
it off,
you were
and it
just
is
ready to pull that
signed.
out, didn't you?
I
You needed
actually
to
I forgot that this was on. I just had it on my
on your desk.
I actually recommended this to my niece. So I had it out
Ah,
because I was
very cool.
showing it to her. But this is the signed version.
Yeah.
I met the creator.
Awesome. And
Okay,
then
anyway.
we have Elseworlds Batman Omnibus Volume 1. One of the creators in here is Doc Monk, but I know there's more. I love that they're doing Omnibus now with the Elseworld stories. And then this is one that I was able to do on single issues, the Kickstarter single issues campaign, actually. The Expanse Dragon Tooth Deluxe Edition by Andy Diggle. Um, and then we have Fantastic Four Volume 1 Save Everyone by Ryan North.
All right, next up, this is the anthology Flight, but this is a volume 6, of course, with various stories and creators that you'll see here. Of course, we have the Mike Mignola Hellboy Universe, The Secret Histories Volume 1, Jonathan Hickman's Imperial, coming out in collected edition, Conga Yu Lost in the in a Labyrinth, Sholly Fish, and we have Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, Gary Duggan.
And then we have four different Godzillas here. We have Godzilla versus America, Boston, then we have Chicago, Kansas City, and Los Angeles. We have a lot of creators. All of them are from the cities that are being featured in each one, and can't wait to get. I know we are getting a few others recently coming up, but I keep waiting for Miami. I know they're gonna Godzilla has to come to Miami. I feel like I'm like Yuji, like a BTS fan, hoping that Godzilla shows up in my town.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right, continuing on, we have The Last Witch, Blood and Betrayal, Connor McCreary, Lobo, Back to Back, Keith Giffen, Marvel Rivals, of course, how popular that is right now. This is Time Stream Adventure, Paul Aller. And then we have IDWs. They have these classic collections. So this one here is for Lock and Key. Welcome to Lovecraft and Head Games. This is Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez. And then we have a compact DC edition of Nightwing, Leaping into the Light, and this is the Tom Taylor Nightwing.
Yes. And next up is Nordy's Book 2 by Malin Falk. And then we have The Oakley Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos Library Edition, Volume 1 by the amazing James Tynion the fourth and Tate Bombal. And then we have Reborn, the Library Edition by Mark Millar, and Star Trek Discovery Omnibus by Mike Johnson, Kirsten Bayer, Angel Hernandez, and Tony Shasteen. And Supergirl Volume 1, Misadventures in Midvale, Sophie Campbell. We're starting to get all these reprints and new Supergirl stuff, so getting ready for the movie coming
Yes.
soon.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of which, I know
Supergirl, the Third
there's
Girl,
more.
Sterling Gates. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the Jason Aaron NYC versus TMNT. We have the Arcanum, Christopher Monfett, and then we have the Cody Ziegler Wolverines and Deadpool's Claws and Mercs. And then we have, of course, the new edition of Paul Dini's Wonder Woman Spirit of Truth. And
Yes.
then we're
And
closing
that's
it out
it.
there.
That is it for the titles that we wanted to highlight from March 2026. And we're going to leave you, don't leave, because you're going to be able to see the rest of the titles that are on the list for March. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming and clicking on this video. We hope you enjoyed it and it was helpful for you. Feel free to leave some comments below of anything that you like, that you're looking forward to. And we hope you come back and watch more of our videos. So thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.